back to the show that we did when Nigel Farage was talking about knifing the civil service and reflect. But hey, look, I am nothing if not your servant, okay? We will spend more time talking about Nigel Farage, just because you are so nicely. And also because I am struggling, Henry Riley, to keep up with all of the investigations into his party's financing at the moment, including some which have emerged very recently.
Yes, and I've done a breakdown to help you out, James. So firstly, we've got the more recent story. Reform are being investigated by the police into payments that were given to the party. This has been revealed by the Guardian newspaper, obviously the story first revealed. So this concerns two donations, both worth £250,000. They were made to Reform UK by Britain Means Business just before the 24 election. If you haven't heard of Britain Means Business, it has one director, and that is Richard Tice, who of course is the deputy leader of the party. So that's being looked at, but particularly because Fiona Cottrell, whose son you may have heard of, Posh George, as he's been nicknamed, he's a convicted fraudster, she made a £1 million transfer before this to Britain Means Business, shortly before the donations were made. So there's an accusation that it's an indirect donation, but there are also direct donations, because Fiona Cottrell has herself directly made two donations to the party, each worth £250,000 separately. So by my maths, that's £1 million in total. And well, Britain Means Business and Fiona Cottrell. There have been questions about how Fiona Cottrell has this level of money. I have to say those have not been answered by Fiona Cottrell. She was at one point a stylist, but we do not know much about her profession before that. The Met Police confirming, as reported in The Guardian, that two individuals were arrested, were interviewed, and the Reform UK say that they take pride in the stringent vetting of donations, and Richard Tice said it was the first he'd heard of it was the Met Police briefing the BBC. But Reform UK maintaining that they vet their donations clearly.
So £1 million transferred by a retired stylist to a company owned by Richard Tice, which subsequently donated £500,000 to Reform UK.
And she also, she also donated £500,000 separately.
In her own name.
Okay, in her own name.
And her son, George, this is the anti-establishment aristocratic family that I keep reading about. Her son, George, is the convicted fraudster who reportedly calls Nigel Farage daddy.
Spent 8 months in prison in Arizona. Tied to this, James, number two is that the Reform UK bank account, it's been revealed by the Sunday Times, was frozen after the Cottrell donations. This is the reporting by the paper that it could not make or receive payments for 2 weeks during the 2024 election. It was frozen after they received donations. The chairman at the time wrote to Arbuthnot Latham, who are the sort of merchant bank. Is it Latham? Sorry, I'm not an account holder. And they were complaining about that, but it also meant Reform UK had received 4 payments totalling £28,000 nearly, and they were impermissible because they come from foreign donors. Reform said again that they take pride in the stringent vetting of donations. And then aside from that, those are the two main ones, James, really. Right. So £1 million, Cottrell bank account frozen, or Reform bank account frozen after the Cottrell allegations. The other two, just quickly, Nigel Farage, the £5 million gift that you may have heard about, that was reported to the National Crime Agency over money laundering concerns. Reform UK again saying Nigel Farage has said he's done nothing wrong. There was the Standards probe into Nigel Farage. That, of course, has been paused because he's no longer an MP. And then Nigel Farage also separately, with regards to George Cottrell, paying for his security, and it said content creators. Nigel Farage saying he's done nothing wrong there as well, but there's no active investigation into that.
So that's 5.
5
investigations.
5.
Gosh. Stay with us, because I'm just going to have a quick word with Dr. Sam Power, who is a lecturer in politics at the University of Bristol and an expert in political financing and electoral regulation. Sam, thank you for your time. Normal is an odd word to use. Is there a precedent for major political parties having their bank accounts frozen?
So as far as I can tell, no, is the short answer. I was racking my brains when I was asked about this on Sunday when the Times story broke, and the only equivalent example I can think of is the British National Party in 2004 were effectively debanked, to use a phrase, by Barclays after some pretty horrific undercover reporting decision to effectively absent themselves from being involved with a political party. Never has, as far as I can understand, a bank account been frozen as a result of a National Crime Agency investigation.
You may have answered my next question, in which case, is that just to channel the spirit of the late Donald Rumsfeld, in the context of unknown unknowns, we know that they're not. I don't think there's a parallel with the BNP example that you provide. I mean, what other grounds might there be for a political party's bank account to be frozen in this way?
So I suppose what we can go off is